Welcome back to Vibrational Wellness with Turek Baptiste, where we explore the energy shaping our lives. I'm your host, Turek Baptiste, your spiritual advisor and lifestyle coach, and how I always like to say, your homie on this journey of self discovery and awareness. Today, we got my people in play, right? I was just telling him about the story of the first time like I heard this music and just the energy that's on his music. And even just recently, I had a chance because I'm a lyrics person. I had a chance to go back and listen to some of the lyrics that was on top of these beats, and they just took it to a whole nother level because not only is it a clear message, but it's a conscious message. And I feel like now where music is going, especially with our culture, having an artist who not only gives you the sonic energy that you need, but also the lyrical content takes you back to the old school bowels of hip hop. Like, this just sounds good, and I'm fucking with what he's saying, right? So today, we have my man's on Aaron Parquet. So we're gonna jump on with him and just kind of dig in with him and see what's going on. Welcome to the show.
Peace, peace. What's going on, brother? Thank you for having me first and foremost. I appreciate. Hey, that was an intro. That was an intro. I appreciate you.
I'm glad you can finally join us. We were just
Yes,
talking
sir.
about how this is a long time coming. I definitely wanted to bring you on first. For those of you who listen to my radio show every Saturday and Sunday, locally in the Atlanta and Georgia area, and online on wdjyfm.com, he's the artist where, I think maybe two of his songs has been spinning maybe every week for the last 3 weeks. Um, and I wanted to first bring him on to introduce him to you guys. And then there's quite a few people who asked who he was, right? Although I say his name after every song of his is played, there's still some people who want to know who he was. But I feel like he has a very interesting story and a very unique approach to music and creativity. So I definitely wanted to bring you on for that reason.
I appreciate
So
you, man. Definitely
introduce
glad to be here.
introduce yourself and just tell us some basic things about yourself. The first things that come up to mind.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I want to say peace and greetings to everybody. And again, thank you, bro, for having me. I am Aaron Parquet. I am a New Orleanian. I was born in Washington, D.C., but I moved to New Orleans at 3. So it's been home. I am a product of two Navy parents.
Mm,
I enjoy the arts. I enjoy creating. I enjoy self-expression. I enjoy betterment of life and just overall a good quality of life. And I like when people are actually pursuing those lifestyles. So it's like we come from a very self-destructive environments for the most part. So when we are in that space to create and collab and just freely express ourselves in a positive manner, that's always something I encourage and want to be a part of. But yeah, I love anime. I love fitness. I'm a father. I love my two little people. They basically just stole my face. A lot of people tell me that, but they're definitely my mini me's and my saving graces. Because definitely without them, I don't know where I would be directional wise. So
I
yeah, that's
definitely understand that. So you talked about, pretty much being a New Orleanian. That's how you pronounce it, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and I agree, you know, moving from where you were born to another state at 3 years old,
Hmm.
your core development, growth and development, all of your development is where you've moved to.
Yes, sir.
So that was very interesting to know because I didn't know that about you from doing your natal chart. I know you gave me DC for your birth city, but
Right.
I didn't know that you are like you were NO to your heart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell us how growing up in New Orleans shaped your creativity and your creative perspective.
So it's a very lively music. It's like heavy jazz, a lot of live instrumentation,
Yes.
and it was so the zydeco, jazz, and bounce is really what you hear a lot of in the mix of things. Like you can go downtown any given time and you'll hear jazz, you'll hear bounce, you'll hear just like a cacophony of just different things of sounds, and it's like the those sounds went into me saying, okay, I've heard enough of that all my life. I'm gonna at least try to at least incorporate but diverge a little bit from what I know, because
Got you.
we have social shakedowns. So basically, play bounce the whole night. You know, women cut up, fellas watch and enjoy. So it's like, it works out for everybody. But then it's a point where we have a DJ Black and Mild. He'll put a bounce beat to almost anything. Adele, Beyonce, whatever, any artist you imagine, he'll put a bounce beat to it, and we'll be
Boom.
cutting up. We'll be cutting up to it. So it's between the zydeco, the jazz, and just the different types of artists that contribute to those forms of music. It was very influential. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, I love the music. I love the instrumentation behind it. So how can I incorporate this to express myself in the most authentic fashion?
Okay. So tell us about some of your, and I'm glad you went in that direction. That was
Mhm.
one of my next questions about some of your influences, right? Because I can definitely hear in, I'll say a large amount of your songs, I can hear that old school hip hop undertow.
Yes,
Like
sir.
hear it. Sometimes it's with the percussion, or sometimes it's with like those strings that you use.
Yes, sir.
But tell us about some of your influences that shape that creativity.
So I'm about to age myself a little bit. So I'm Kumo D. So
Damn,
for me,
that's
it was,
hey
yeah,
now
Kumo
wait,
D.
hold on.
Let me
That's
see.
that's a Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle moment. You said cool. Wait, damn. Okay, Kumo D.
So, but here's the thing, right? So it's funny because you got Kumo D and you've got the Wild Wild West. Then you've
Okay,
got the remake he did with Will. So it's like he's still prevalent throughout the time. So it's like, okay, I see you still doing your thing. Then you've got, the New York legends. You got KRS-One.
okay.
You've got Run DMC. So
Hmm.
basically hip hop royalty. And then once it kind of the movement started to spread out, I started getting more incorporated with of course Biggie and Pac. But like the most influential I'd say was probably Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco
Okay.
was definitely like and I don't want to put too much on it, but he saved my life in the sense of like encouraged the different ways of expressing myself in a truer fashion. It's okay to talk about anime. It's okay to talk about the stuff that's not of the streets or how we getting our money or who we land with. It's okay to paint a different picture. And his verse on Touch the Sky, I was like, yo, who the hell is this? Guess who's on third? Lupe still like Lupe in the third. I was like, okay, all right.
Yo,
I was
and
like, all
see,
right,
this makes so much sense
yes, sir.
because I can hear now you saying Lupe Fiasco. I can hear the influence of Lupe Fiasco on you lyrically.
Yes, sir.
And one thing about creativity, I love what you said. You said like, okay, it's okay to rap about or talk about this, but like, no,
Mhm.
let's talk about what's happening, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
that's what creativity is. That's
Hmm.
why no matter. what you do, if anybody mimics it, they're never going to be able to do it the way that you do it,
Yes,
because
sir.
creativity is a outward expression of what's happening inside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So whatever I've experienced, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, when I release this shit, bitch, no matter how many times you try to mimic it, you can never express it in the same energy and intention
Right.
that you have.
Yes,
So
sir.
that makes a lot of sense with Lupe Fiasco, because like I'm really a solid fan of your lyrical content and how you're able to like mesh how you ride these fucking beats.
I
Like
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
on Dystopia,
Mhm.
it's literally like, and I know, you know, you kind of work in your editing process as well, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
literally like you just, I know at least two of those solid verses, or well, yeah, two of those solid verses, you just spit that out.
Yes, sir.
Like it wasn't no takes on that.
Yeah, that one actually, I was surprised that it only took one take per verse. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm comfortable with this. I guess I like this particular track.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your creative process. Like what gets you to that place where you can just like go in the studio and just be a dog on the mic for like 3 minutes.
So what? And I forgot to shout out the Atlanta sign because between Dungeon Family,
Okay.
Goody Mob, you know, just that whole movement, Ti, like they really influenced a lot of the I guess the southern element towards. Okay,
Okay.
let me talk about. Let me go ahead and remind folks where I am from, what they might see coming out here, and even flow wise, just execution. I loved the CeeLo. Like what was it? Is it what's the dooms? Is it Doomsday Theory or something like no.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So my I have a partner out there in Atlanta. He produces, and usually I'll start with the beat, depending on, or you know, if it's something I'm hearing, then I'll just generate the content around the actual instrumentation. But if
Okay.
it's something I have on my mind, I'll just jot it down and structure it accordingly. So according to the instrumental that I see it, I find that meshes with it the best.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense because I thought I was the only person that was kind of that way, right? So I'll
Mhm.
say send me like 4 tracks. And I do have this unique thing where if I hear some music, I can automatically just come up with, even if it's corny, I can automatically just come up with a melody,
Mhm.
low key like a hook, a vamp, like an old school song, period.
Yes, sir.
And there are also songs that I write where, okay, this just came to me this way. I've written it out and then I put a melody to it. And
Mhm.
whoever I would have produce that record, I would have them build that track around my scratch vocals, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's interesting to see like another creative that has a similar process and a similar gift, because a lot of people that call themselves artists,
Mhm.
you can play 50 different tracks for them and they still don't feel inspiration, right?
Right. Right.
I feel like if you are an artist, or you know, if you're calling yourself a creative, you first have to be an artist, and in that artistic flow, again, that's the outward expression of what's happening inwardly.
Yes,
And
sir.
just as an artist, you've gone through some experience that this melody or this sound or this track is playing that you can put words to.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
I just came up with this corny track called Sneaky. I was talking about one time I got cheated on, right?
Mm.
So it's like it's really dope to see a person who is, you know, actually expressing their creativity and have a similar process.
And
Okay.
you know, I wanted, because when you said like the track "Sneaky," it resonated with me. So it's like, even from the art standpoint, right? We might see it's corny, or we might that's not my best work. But you never know what that particular self expression can do for somebody else in a sense
Right.
too. So it's like, hey, all right, that particular track or those words helped me get through this particular event, or it helped me learn from a past struggle I just went through. So you never know, man. But I appreciate the similar and like-minded creatives, because it is an art. You have to be an artist to create. And I think a lot of times we overlook just how many creators we are, you know what I mean, in our day-to-day habits. We are creators. So just try to stick with that and be true to that process.
I like totally agree. Like I totally agree. And now since I got you on cam, recording you on cam, I'm definitely about to make you, so we have to do at least 2 records.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So
Because
I'm getting
we
your,
spoke about that a while ago, and I've still, you know what I mean. I kept that. That's in the book. So I ain't going nowhere. I'm ready when you are, bro.
I think the two of us together in the studio, just the energy of it with certain instrumentation.
Yes, sir.
So we would definitely like lock that in. And it's interesting you said how, something can be your creative expression and you're like, that's not my best work, but you never know where it lands or who else it touches.
Sir.
So my one little record that I have out, that I just have it out just to have that out. I have redone that song like 90 times.
I understand. I definitely understand.
Like low key, and most people wouldn't probably realize it because it really didn't do anything at the time. I released the song under a whole nother different name in a different version, like
Mm.
20.
No, I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't know that.
So it was called Kinetic.
Okay.
Had a whole different, it was under an artist name, JR Soul, all of this. I sat down with it and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to release this, I really need to, update it to where my current awareness is now, even, as it relates to energy. So one of the kind of intermediate versions I kept for some Chicago steppers type. That's another dance, right? So I released that. It's horrible. It has like the mix on it is kaput. Damn vocals on it. I'm like, damn, I was really sounding like that. Like nobody tuned me up for real. You feel me?
Growth is something, bro. Like, when you look back, you be like, okay.
But the people in Chicago fuck with that song.
Word
Like
up.
so to the point that when I did release like this Amethyst like EP,
Uh-huh.
I just left that song on there. And to look and see like, okay, I released this song in 2016, a different version. It ain't do shit.
Mm.
But then I released it at this time, more up to date, fine tuned with more intention,
Mm-hmm.
and then putting, into it the experiences that I had experienced up until then. Now this shit is actually doing numbers.
It's going up.
It's a form of passive income.
Yes, sir.
So it's really interesting to like talk to another artist who is and has been on that similar climb. Like I really didn't know that about you, so that's like dope to hear. Okay,
I,
so go ahead, go ahead.
when you spoke on intent, that's very important. And like a friend of mine, we were just talking about a little bit last year how much we need to focus on the intent of things instead of while we're creating, just be more purposeful in the intention of it. So
It's the
that's
vibrational
very
flow.
interesting. Yes, sir.
Like
Yes,
you
sir.
you you spoke to one part of it where okay, because this is my expression, it lands and it helps positively affects someone else, right?
Mhm.
So that's one aspect of the actual vibration of the music. So if I'm putting, specific intentions into the song, into the way that I'm setting up, even in my creative process, like I'm a person before I get into that mode, like, yeah, we're gonna sage the room, we're gonna light some incense. I'm probably gonna
So,
light candles, we're gonna get some sound therapy in the room.
mhm.
Then I feel centered to kind of step into a certain zone where I'm being vulnerable with my
Gotcha.
creativity.
Gotcha.
So the act of intent is very, very important in my opinion. So just even you speaking to that, like really shows me again where you are planted and where your roots are as an artist. So okay, have you seen the any of the Katrina documentaries?
I saw, I think I saw bits and pieces of, was it Ryan Coogler's? The most recent one?
So I only know of two. I know one that they did on Hulu, and then
Mhm.
they took some of the same people and added some people, and they did one on Netflix. So those are the only
Okay.
two I know about.
Okay, because I wasn't familiar with how many might be out there. I just know
Okay,
there are some out there though. But
okay,
I don't really be I don't really be
okay.
like, yeah, like I live there. I was like, it's cool. I
Right.
get it.
So that's why I wanted to get your perspective on it, like
Mhm.
watching it and kind of knowing some history on when it happened before in like the '60s, and just seeing people's um, response to it and their
Mhm.
perspective. I wanted to know what you thought about the documentary. Like, was that shit real that they're saying, or was it some BS? So okay, so I can shift my question then.
Okay.
So were you actually in Katrina?
No, I had so the weekend before it hit, uh, we had a jamboree, we had a football game, and the coach was like, "Listen, we're not gonna have practice. We want y'all to make sure y'all get safe, get to where y'all need to go, pack your belongings, get with your family, and get out of town if you're doing so." So a lot of things. So here's a detail that a lot of people don't know as to why. Because the biggest thing was during Katrina, like, why'd they stay? Why'd y'all stay? Everybody had plenty of time. So the thing is, the year before Katrina, we had a storm. It was supposed to be a Category 5. It was supposed to come through, shut down everything, and we weren't supposed to be able to return for some time.
So they
So my
tricked you.
mom and I, we ended up going to Mississippi, and we
God,
stayed out there for a little bit. And I think the city as a whole felt the same way when they got back and they saw maybe like 2 or 3 branches on the ground, and it was like, so y'all, we had minimal wind damage and some displaced debris, and y'all made us have a mass exodus for this. So
God.
the next year rolls around, we're like, we're not moving, we're not, I'm not budging. But mom's was already kind of, because my uncle at the time, he had just passed away.
Okay.
So mom's was kind of in a space of like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I was like, we could just go to Atlanta if you want for the weekend. Let's go to Cuz house and just put up, and then we'll go from there. So it's a good idea. So we'll go get out, and we left that Saturday evening, back to back traffic, bumper to bumper. Folks were going to Texas. We was like, nah, we gonna go the other way because y'all, this is bumper to bumper. And so when we finally got settled and it made landfall, initially it was like, okay, it's not that bad. But then, of course, the rumors in the wind of, man-made interference and things of that nature. And of course, these are all speculations and these are all things that folks are saying. But it's like, when you look at the corruption that takes place throughout the timeline of the city, it's like,
Hey, check this out. And see, on my show, we talk our shit. You feel
yes,
me?
sir.
And you know, we talk our shit on real research, right? I don't
Yes,
believe
sir.
speculation. If I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say something based on what I saw or what I researched with my own eyes, like
Correct.
formidable research, not like scrolling through this topic online.
Right, right.
The specific ninth ward of New
Mhm.
Orleans sits on pretty much the equivalence of a gold mine as it relates to oil,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
That's why the swamps at one point were like very plush because
Yes, sir.
swamps rely on oil, right?
Hmm.
That's why I'm like, whoa, you just dropped the detail that well, you said most people don't know, but it's the connection that most people haven't made.
Hmm.
So this happened, this same type of flood from a hurricane happened like 1966, right?
Hmm.
In the same area.
Hmm.
But 2 weeks prior to that, there was supposed to be a smaller storm that came that was supposed to cause all of this calamity that didn't.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's literally like history repeated itself
Yes,
and
sir.
the same thing happened again. And what a lot of people don't know about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, for those who own like land and houses,
Mhm.
they were literally coming up to these people door to door trying to get their land,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So it is my definite belief that these were geostorms,
Yes, sir.
and these geostorms were set and sent with certain agendas to displace these people to then come in to get this land to drill for this fucking oil.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes,
one
sir.
thing I didn't know, and one of the documentaries talked about it, and I'm like, is this shit real? Let me do some research and kind of actually talk to some people who were on the grounds.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. One part of New Orleans, they have made like this oil reformation like plant.
Hmm.
It's kind of put out in the community that is one thing, but it's something totally different.
Oh
They're
yeah.
literally still trying to find whatever this pipeline is to this oil directly under the Ninth Ward.
Hmm.
So I am definitely a solid believer that these were definitely geostorms.
Hmm.
It created all of this calamity for y'all to take these people's land. We,
Absolutely.
of course, when we look in history, don't start
Ain't
me
new.
up there.
Right. It's not. It's not new. It's really not. We're currently right now. We're and shout outs to our old mayor Titi, and shout outs to our new mayor Helena Moreno. She's just they were discussing setting up a data center in the east, and it's like why? There are plenty of other places you can go, but it's like why specifically here, directly across from these people's residencies? And she was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not. We don't need it right here. We don't need it for quite some time. And so I applaud her efforts to say she's come in her terms off the gate, just trying to make some constructive changes. And and with Titi Cantrell, it was I felt like it was a lot going on against her anyway because she was the first Black woman. So it was
Okay.
like there was a lot that people
So
were.
she was the mayor that came after the mayor during Katrina, right?
Yes.
First black
Yeah.
woman. Okay, so she was actually on one of those documentaries as well, right? So
Yeah.
it's good that like you're sharing similar information that they shared about her there.
Hmm.
Because I'm not really familiar with like her or the mayor after her. I
Hmm.
just know the mayor, the guy that y'all had during Katrina.
That was Ray
Hey,
Nagin. We
hats
Chocolate City
off to
Ray
Buddy.
Nagin.
Hats off to Buddy. I mean,
Yes, sir.
they played him so hard. They put that whole situation on his back, and he was literally the main person saying, "Get out of the city."
Yes, sir.
But they
And
put that
and
entire situation on his back. They put that whole Superdome situation on his back, and then threw charges on him and got him
yeah, oh
locked
yeah,
up.
because like Ray, and I'm a Mr. Nagin. And he was the
Exactly,
he felt.
respectfully.
You know what I'm saying? He was more of a neighborhood. He was more of your neighbor. He didn't feel like a politician. He go out there, he do the pandering, he do the handshaking, he do the job, what the job would require. But you can tell he was of the city and had the city's interest in mind. So it's like whatever level of corruption may or may not have been there, because it's politics. But it's like you have to look at what he's done for the city, and he's always put the working class and the impoverished in a space where they don't have to be neglected, even if if other mouths are trying to eat first. So it's like we appreciate that. We definitely appreciate the work you put in.
So what's his name again? You said Ray Nagin,
Ray Nagin, yes sir.
former mayor of New Orleans. Ray Nagin. We're
Ray Nagin, and,
definitely
and you
like
know what? They really when he hit him with that Chocolate City, there was a rap. There was a chocolate what flooded. So it was like, man, we appreciate you holding us down, man. And I actually need to see. I think I need to see what his term was because I don't know if he's out yet or not. I think.
I think he's out. I want to say
Okay.
they hit him with 10 years. I think he
Mm,
ended up doing like 6 or 7,
mm,
and he came out. And that was going to be my next question. Like, what is
mm.
his stance in the community right now? But I'm going to look it up to see when he actually got out. But I
Okay.
think he's out already.
Okay. Yeah, because I need to do my due diligence on that too, because because once he got out, and I think it was Mayor, who was it? No, it was a mayor right before Cantrell. I just can't remember exactly. And the thing is, I think Meg Cantrell's husband was from here, and she was from, I can't remember where she's from originally, but her husband and their original, their roots are from here, from New Orleans. But I just can't remember exactly who the mayor was in that time frame, like right after Ray Nagin and right before Mayor Cantrell. Matter of fact, I'll look it up. I'll look it up later. But yeah. It was a very interesting process to watch the city go from almost completely hollowed out and like unlively. You know what I mean? You go downtown. You go downtown on a Tuesday. It's lights, music, sounds, lively vibes, and of course, after Katrina, it's kind of like, all right, this looks like a ghost town. This looks
And that's what I love about y'all's spirit, because
mm-hmm.
so after Katrina happened and they were allowing people to come on the grounds and help, I was working with 2 teams at the time.
Oh, word.
And the feel, the energy of just in the air, it was like just complete disparity, like we're done. And then it was maybe like 2 months afterwards, one of the main ladies who had organized the whole situation, she got her house renovated and she had like the party. And it's like we came back, and the neighborhood, even people who were still working on their houses, the neighborhood was lit up.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, man, just months ago, y'all was like, so it's like the spirit of just y'all energy is always so captivating to me, for like, you to say, yeah, I was here and it was like a dead zone, but then to see that y'all back in motion now.
Yes, sir. And I want to say thank you for doing what you did and doing what you could on behalf of the city, because it was a lot of effort, and I don't think a lot of people got the thanks that they should have. And we just appreciate all the people that came out and remembered it was a human process. You know what I mean? Like that means a lot. And I had no idea. That's crazy that we've never talked about that in our own. Hey, appreciate you, man. For real. Thank you. Thank you.
I was partnering with an organization at the time,
and
like he just came in the room and he was like, y'all want to go to New Orleans? Like, whoa. I'm like, for how long? He was like, probably started 5 days to a week. Book me. And we got there, and just descending on the city, it was just like, what the fuck happened here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. For it to be a natural disaster, it's like, what happened here? And to get on the grounds and just to see how people were it was just such a depressed state. And the smell, like, but to come back, like I said, those months later, and like the one older lady, I forget her name, she had lived up they were calling it up the road. She comes in like a waitress. She got 2 cakes. She cooked. She's like, it's so good to see you guys. I'm like, whoa. Just to see the change in energy like that, like really, really helped me understand the heart of New Orleans.
Yes, sir. If anything, resilient. If I could label it, resilient. Like this, I've watched many people go through many hardships and still keep a smile on their face, or able to go out there and do for somebody else. And it is a big community. It's a small city to say that, you have a lot to do, you can do, but everything is relatively 30 to 40 minutes within each other. So it's like, you're going to run into somebody, a bunch of times. So, but it's a community, it's a big community, and it's a melting pot. So you're going to have to eventually run across, somebody that you may have a problem with or may not, depends, but it's, we try to keep it as community as possible. And I'm so proud of this city for that. Like they resilient.
So definitely in your music, you can hear like the socially conscious lyrical content. So how does that like shape your message? Because you definitely have a few songs where I can tell these are either personal experiences that you translated through, or something that you actually saw with your own eyes, right? Because a couple of your songs, you can actually tell that you're like emoting.
Yes, sir.
Sharing these lyrics.
So with Dystopia, for instance, right? I think that one's a better.
Shit.
Yes. So with dystopia, it's kind of like I wrote it in the midst of COVID, but because I was already familiar with don't leave your house, don't come outside past the certain curfew. It was after Ida we came back. We went to Florida, and then we came back. It was like maybe out there for like a week and some change. And the little bit of like the weeks before the power and everybody had certain restorations happening. Police were riding around with the floodlights. Go back inside, and it was martial law esque. You know what I mean? So it was just like, all right, I'm familiar. You get a little bit more freedom in COVID. So I was like, man, I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of people telling me when to go inside or how long I got to stay inside. So and then the process about it is because if you go through certain neighborhoods, I saw a whole house, a whole estate being built in the midst of COVID. I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, okay, somebody's winning. Somebody's winning.
Exactly.
Somebody's property. And of course, it was a predominantly white area. But it was like, okay, so all right, I see the game is. So then I just started writing my thoughts, my observations, talks in the wind, the conspiracies, the actual reality of the situation. I'm like, man, and then I try to apply it on not just what I've experienced in the city, but on a global scale of what everybody else is going through currently. It's like folks in India getting beat with batons because they outside a few minutes longer than they should be. And it's like, man, ain't no telling who else is getting worse treatment with less coverage. So it's like,
and the crazy thing about these pandemics, when you do research on even the word pandemic, so I did research on the word pandemic.
Yes, sir.
And it literally took me back 100 years from 2020 to another pandemic. And that took me back 100 years, literally 100 years to the year to another pandemic. Right. And then to see how the world responded to that pandemic, like you said, how, this extreme law, you couldn't go most places without, damn, I got to stand this far behind you. Next. Well, I'm next. I just was standing 6 feet.
I forgot my mask. Man. I did the oh man.
Yo, I was still traveling during, this pandemic, still doing international travel.
Yes, sir.
I would never forget it. I got to the airport. I'm moving around, right? So, I was one of those, or am one of those anti-vaxxers, never got vaccinated. And, some of my African brothers helped me with whatever I needed to use to make sure I was clear. I had to get tested maybe like 6 or 7 times during the whole pandemic, never tested positive, but I understood what it was and what was happening.
Right.
Fucked around and got to the airport. I got everything. I got my visa papers. And I get up to the counter and get everything going, and I don't have a mask. Now, you got one or two options. Be a little later for this flight and potentially miss it, and go back and get these masks, these specific masks that you have for this long-ass flight, or take this little giveaway hospital mask that they have.
Right.
Man, I had like 4 of those masks. So like
it's like ninjutsu style.
Man, that forgetting the mask thing was like on my ass during the whole situation. Like, man, forgot it again. Because, of course, the people who I was around, so I pretty much always lived alone. So the people who I would be around in my close, like, we all have the same beliefs and expressions. So when nobody's sick, we chilling.
Right.
Man, you just saying, man, I forgot my mask. That just triggered me. I'm like, I'm almost there.
Hey, walking back to the car, mad as hell. Like, shouldn't even be wearing this shit right now.
So, I know you're working on, some visuals for some of your current records that are out. What else are you working on, or is that your central focus right now?
My partner, and this is the gentleman who's actually in the label with me. He's we've been working in tandem to just trying to get more output out and stay consistent. So we've been doing more videos, and we have a few projects that we've already recorded. So we're just getting the actual content surrounding those projects together. I've really been trying to get my visuals together for. I'm sorry, I'm omitting saying trying. I've been getting my visuals together.
Good
I've been getting my
job.
visuals together, and we're putting together some bodies of work for the songs we have. And I also have a re-release of my project In Game coming. I
Okay.
put some mixes on it, some fine tunes, and I'm gonna do a actual kind of a mini movie, do some individual videos that come together as one larger work. So that's the majority of what the rest of the year has, aside from other collaborative projects. That's really just my main focus for me.
So I'm really with you on the visuals.
Mhm.
So my I'll say, as much as I don't like to call it a career, it has become one. My
Mhm.
broadcasting career, on radio and podcasting has, really done its thing, you know. But it is innately audio.
Yes, sir.
I'm the nigga that stays away from the videos because like we were talking about your sun, moon, and rising. So I'm a Libra sun,
Mhm.
Virgo moon, Scorpio rising, right?
Yes, sir.
But in kind of more in-depth astrology, I have a lot of Virgo type energy, right?
Mhm.
So my little perfectionistic ass has stayed away from videos because,
Understandable.
man, I don't like that expression I made. I don't. This is really the time to share our creativity
Mhm.
visually, right?
Yes, sir.
One, because of the energy that we're moving in, the planet Neptune just moved 0 degrees of Aries. So that's a literal kickstart. And that's the haze and the illusion of where we were versus where we are moving, right?
Mhm.
But then, just from a marketing perspective, nowadays, we're not dealing with people who we're dealing with people who shy away from depth, right?
Right.
So
Right.
reading a post or having to put two and two together for a lot of people is kind of like so having a visual where like the doom scrollers can just be like, oh, wait, let's go back.
Right.
It's
Right.
so much more, um, I'll say, marketable
Yes, sir.
than words. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely locked in with you there on like the visuals. And
Mhm.
for I'm sure for you, but for people like me, like stepping into the visuals is the challenge.
Right. I got you. I got you.
But you know what
The-
we do with challenges.
I gotta say, run up to him head first and overcome him. Now,
We not
what you said, it was funny because that little nitpick, I think that's the artist, the creative part about it is like I'll be editing some footage. I'll be like, man, I don't like the way my mouth shaped on that one. I'm delete that whole. Nah, we're not gonna go with that. We're not gonna go with that particular scene. But I definitely understand. Sometimes it'll take me longer because I am nitpicking so much. But it's to the point where I'm optimizing my output and concentrating more on the content as opposed to the execution of it. So it's especially with
it,
what
it,
we
it,
got, like you say, with doom scrollers and folks who aren't so in-depth thinkers and critically thinking. It's like they're not gonna catch the mistakes
yeah,
that we see. It'll
exactly,
take them a few
exactly.
revisits. So it's like it's fine. That's cool.
Exactly. These
Mhm.
were lessons that I had to learn when it came to like videos and even like, certain audio mistakes, right?
Yes, sir.
I kind of took it back to music.
Mhm.
If I'm singing, especially an original song, if I'm singing an original song, you don't know I just messed up.
Right.
You low key don't even know I just was flat, because I didn't.
Right.
So I feel like it's the same thing when we're dealing with that video type content. You don't know that normally my mouth is not shaped like that.
Right.
But
Right.
you just sat here and watched 30 minutes of this, so that's cool, right? It's cool. I was definitely the same type of person when I go to like video edit. You know what? Fuck this file, and it'd be
Right.
something that I
On
spent
it.
like all day like writing it out, recording, or half of the day. I don't know, fuck this file. I don't like how it looks.
Yo, I just did a promo for the intro for the in-game we were discussing. I did a promo for that. I'm like, I don't like it. Delete. I'm good. I ain't rolling with it. I'll refilm it if I need to, but I'm gonna find something else to roll with.
And it's like people who are not, artists in that way, they
Mhm.
really don't understand that process of, like you said, not using the word try and intending on giving my best. But one thing I've learned, especially when you're a person of higher awareness, or even in some cases, and not from a condescending perspective, but even in some cases of superior intellect,
Right, right.
what would kind of be maybe the par or mediocre for you kind of really sits at the height of
Somebody else ceiling. Yeah, I got
of
you. I got you. I got
so
you.
I learned that even some of those what we consider like mistakes are, again, like you said, not even noticed. But it comes from a whole nother level because you don't even recognize, because of the caliber
Mm.
of what I'm presenting, you don't even recognize that that doesn't fit there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
kind of even understanding how to use what you have
Hmm.
to get what you want
Yes, sir.
makes a lot of sense in like the creative field. So we're gonna have to jump back on um, to maybe do a unpopular opinion um, conversation because I keep forgetting you are a Gemini moon, right? So
Okay.
you are a damn Black Panther in your heart. Like you
Yes,
get it.
sir. Yes, sir.
I
Did
definitely
not know I was a revolutionary like at that to that degree. It's like, moms, what are we doing? What did you do? So like it was funny because when I first got to middle school and I would articulate so well, and I'm fresh from so I was DC, New Orleans, North Carolina, then back to New Orleans.
okay.
So when I was coming from North Carolina back to New Orleans, I'm articulating my words a bit differently. So I really felt like Mike off the wood when he was coming from like that. That's one of my favorite movies because it's like, yo, I definitely relate to Big Mike on that one. Like, yeah. Like so I'll come in and it's like, why you talk like that? What you mean? Enunciate my words? You talk like a white guy. I wouldn't say all that. I speak clearly, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, so when it comes to certain things, it's like, all right, I see the adjustment that has to be made in these aspects. And not even an adjustment, but just you're not used to this particular sound, or I'm not used to this particular cadence. So it was funny in that readjustment, making those little adjustments. It went a long way with how I would, I guess, code switch to a degree. And we were talking about the revolution. We were talking about the Black Panther at heart. So
Gotcha.
what that happens is like I'm the kid that talks with articulation, but I'm also the only 10 and 11-year-old in my squad who's familiar with Marcus Garvey and Fela Kuti and these different types of artists in walks of life. And like, so it's like I may talk white to you, but I know our history a little
But
bit
I'm
more
I'm
because
culture.
yes, sir. Yes,
Like
sir.
I have a wider spectrum of culture, and I feel like I always say it. Travel is not only the perfect antidote for most things,
Yes,
but
sir.
travel helps you gain perspective, especially if America is your base. If your primary mentality and perception is or perspective is Western, like
Mhm.
American born, American ways of doing things, you have to get out of the American country
Yes, sir.
to
Yes,
really
sir.
learn perspective because, whenever you can, because if not, it kind of limits your focus, right? So
Yes,
here we
sir.
have all of these kids who, this is the school that their parents went to, their grandparents potentially, this is their, we'll say, subjective culture.
Mhm.
And here comes a child who has not only been here, but they've also been here, right? Because
Mhm.
travel, you naturally learn through your senses.
Yes, sir.
You are smelling a different place that typically smells different. You
Mhm.
hear different sounds of traffic. And then energetically, even as a child, you can feel the difference, right? when you travel. So here's a child that comes along that has these different experiences,
Sir.
and it's always funny because that's how it shows up in, like, even in adult culture. The
Hmm.
person that's different, who is maybe more cultured
Yes, sir.
in certain communities, like, why are you doing that like that? Because I realize
Right.
doing that is keeping you on this damn vibration
Right. Right.
that I'm no longer on.
That part, that part, and it's once you experience that growth, and you take off the rose-colored glasses, you can't regress or go back. And
So
at
so
that point,
we definitely are going to get back on and have an unpopular opinion
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
conversation, because hearing that you were a kid in maybe middle school or high school and you was already familiar with Marcus Garvey,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely have to talk, because um, growing up again, you know, in a totally different culture than American culture,
Hmm.
being aware of certain systems in certain ways just naturally, because it's different than American culture,
Yes, sir.
it gives you a different perspective in your growth and development.
Hmm.
And even in just collecting the data that we collect on people every day,
Hmm.
just through like our interactions, it really helps you understand how to move about the cabin.
Hmm.
And that's why
Yes, sir.
I like the word that you use, code switching, right? That's a term that they put on it,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
our people in this country, it's literally something that they had to do to get by
Adaptation.
at
Yes,
one
sir.
point, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I definitely want to dig in, because you have people now who, if you bring up the name Marcus Garvey,
Hmm.
not only are they not familiar with it, they've never heard it before.
And the sad part, even if they have a level of familiarity, it's the tainting of the legacy. And it's like y'all didn't y'all didn't see that play. Like, it's a whole Back to Africa movement. This man had books. This had he had and I don't remember the teacher, the actual Chinese professor's name, but he attended his lectures in the sense of, right there in Harlem, this man setting up shop, doing what he's got to do. And a lot of that is because my mom was born in Harlem, and she moved
Okay.
to North Carolina after her mom passed, and she, just got the different culture. She still has vague memories of her time in New York, but a
Okay.
lot of that, a lot of the information that I had as a child, she made sure that here's some pamphlets, here's some. And it's funny because, like, give me one
That's
second. I'll show
dope.
you. I'll show you an example if you don't mind. Hold on.
Go
I
ahead.
got
And my man got the Captain America shield in the back. He dedicated.
so, like, to these days,
He
right?
dedicated.
And I read these with my children from time to time. But we have things, these types of, and you see how thin these things are. Like,
Yes.
look at this. You see how thin these things are, bro. Like, but Sun Tzu's Art of War is a goddamn movie. But it's like,
Thank you.
all right, cool. But yeah, she made sure I had a well-rounded education in our history and our knowledge of self. So big shout outs to mom.
And I'll say maybe the gold or the yellow book in that
Hmm.
series, I was introduced to that as a child, right?
Yes, sir.
And then understanding, even in some of those books, okay, it can even go further than this, right?
Hmm. Yes,
And
sir.
I remember my uncles, like, teaching us about the whole Martin Luther King and Malcolm X debacle, and really
Hmm.
giving us like behind the scenes as kids. So it's really cool to always connect with someone. And wait, you're how old are you?
37.
Well, we're in this. Yeah, I'll be 43 in October. So yeah, we're
Man, you look great, bro.
great. Appreciate it. I'll take my herbs.
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
in the
no.
same. I guess we're in the same age group, right? And
Right.
then you definitely have more maturity, even from a younger age, beyond your age. So I can just remember certain things and how they've evolved,
Hmm.
right? The For me, it was the cassettes to the
Yes, sir.
CDs, right? To At one point, I realized, like, damn, all of my music is on my computer, and then all of it is on my phone, right?
Yeah.
So and I think I lost my point, but just understanding, seeing life from a more mature perspective at
Hmm.
an early age
Yes, sir.
in American society and specifically in our culture really sets you aside.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
being able to connect that with culture,
Hmm.
right? Like the premise of your culture and
Hmm.
the, I'll say, the quote unquote black histories of it all. It really sets you aside as a younger person.
Yes, sir. Yes,
As
sir.
much as I don't really mess with the teenagers too often, because
Right.
these mouths on these teenagers nowadays, I'm like, bro, I'm about to square up with you like you my age. Say it again.
Right, right. Because it's the intellect and the intent, and it's like you really out here like you know what you're talking about, like you really assured of yourself. And I love the confidence, but get some more
Sit down.
guidance. Get some more
Sit
guidance and
down.
information for you come across the wrong person.
But as much as I'm not really like the youth person,
Mhm.
I really feel like people like us, there's not necessarily a obligation, but more of a responsibility to
Mhm.
those where it lands to just drop it. Like, okay, you're reading that, but you should probably like check this out.
Yes, sir.
What? Yeah, because he was really this and X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z. And when you
Hmm.
can catch like younger people, even people in their 20s, when you can catch them like in those moments is always like paramount, right?
Yes, sir.
To be able to share that information. Because I feel like having that different type of experience, again, from the American perspective, it really sets you aside.
Yes,
And
sir.
being able to mix that travel and culture,
Mhm.
just like I never knew that about you. I knew you were like a army brat, low key,
Right, right.
but I never knew, you were that culture that early, and then that culture in our culture. So yeah, I'm definitely going to pick your brain. Definitely
Yes,
going to pick
sir.
your.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
So if we want to know more about you, because I'm sure this conversation is going to pique interest for quite a few of my listeners because they're nosy. I have a very nosy following.
Shout outs to your following and the listeners, man. For
I've had a
real.
chance to connect with some of my listeners beyond um, America.
Okay. Okay.
Even they're nosy as hell.
Yes, sir. I think it's the human condition because our level
Man,
of curiosity to learn. So it's like, what's this about?
yo, shout out to Zurich, Germany. Y'all be hitting me up with the y'all nosy as hell, and I love it because that means that you're listening and watching. So what's next for you? I know you said you're working on these visuals. Um, what's next for Aaron Parquet, the artist?
As Aaron Parquet, the artist, I'm gonna continue working on the visuals. I'm gonna do some more sketches. As of right now, we're just honing in on the visual aspect because we have a lot of music coming down the pipeline. So we're just gonna we're going to get visuals together to
Hey, I like you being. I
coincide.
like the fact that you like correct yourself because that speaks to a very
Have it,
specific
man.
place. Like, there's a very specific place in awareness when your
Mhm.
awareness is shifting and like you're like growing in conscious awareness.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
very specific place where, like, as you learn more, you then
Hmm.
apply,
Hmm.
and
The
that's what
ultimate
a lot
power.
of people miss. They miss like the step of application. You can know all of this shit, but how does it work for
Have
you?
to apply. Yes, sir. The
And
power.
like you applying it
Hmm.
and then also correcting it really speaks to the level of conscious awareness that you're gonna get to from making that conscious effort. So like every time I've seen you do this, I'm like, yes, yes, there's someone out here who's alive, who's in touch with
It's
you. And
too much to love. It's too much
yes,
to
yes,
enjoy.
yes, yes. Okay, so tell my listeners where they can, because we were talking about them being nosy.
Mhm.
Tell them where they can find out more information about you.
Okay. So on Facebook, I'm Aaron Parquet. On YouTube, I'm Aaron Parquet 504.
Okay.
TikTok, I think it's AP 504. I believe it's either Aaron P or AP 504, some variation of that. And on Instagram, it's Aaron P 504 for sure. I know that. I know that. But I'm on almost all social medias except X. I am on Snapchat, but I'm not active on there. But like you can hit me up on Facebook. Instagram and TikTok. I'm active on there mainly, and a lot of you can find my music on the streaming platforms: Deezer, Spotify, iTunes.
I really appreciate you coming on. Like again, this was
Brother,
a
I
long time
appreciate you,
coming.
man. Yes,
This is
sir.
a very progressive conversation. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, King. Thank you, bro.
So our man's Aaron Parquet left us with a little goodie just to wet y'all whistle. So this song is called Amplified. Check it out.
Subiri. 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 Subiri.
Alright, amplified. I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Now lit get amplified. This is amplified. I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Now lit get amplified. Ah, here we go again with this AP guy. Okay, now what's on AP's mind? Just wanna create a cake, sweet grind all the while trying to survive this crazy life. Psyche-wise, my brain seems fine. Third eye so wide, I can't be blind. AP goes Neo, wanna be why they giving all stuck in the Matrix vibes. Lies is all they seem to tell. High is the price for the dreams they sell. Leave heaven to reconvene to hell. Teens on leans and pills for the need to chill. Social media memes will reach them well. Why they make shit to deplete the health? Educate the system, teach the fail, leading to either help build, clean, or be in jail. I see all the signs, I can read them well. While these niggas seem to be a little bit illiterate, still I'm gon' spit it for your spiritual and mental benefit. When I'm on these instrumentals killing shit, their bulb shine kinda dull, so while rhyming for the help change out the filament. But they keep on dimming them, which is kind of ironic, cause they do it to get really lit. That just ain't right, so let's stay bright. It's time to get it all luminous, so I'm gon' do it through a musical movement. It's a beer producing all of the tunes that you're grooving with. Hip-hop legends, all my influences. Some of these newer kids just wanna ruin that. I'm at peace, but don't try foolishness. Got a smart ass who's still about stupid shit. Doing this for my people who feel they really gotta get it on their own. Watching out for so-called bros who would rather go to a movie while you're putting on a show. You're not alone, and so I go inside my zone to grant you my support, maximize your voice, can't deny your source, plan inside your soul to amplify your force. Amplified. I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Not lit get amplified. This is amplified. I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Not lit get amplified. Alright, this that vibe to get you live and lift you high. Now shine, emit your light and fix your bright, just live your life. Alright, this is the vibe to get you live and lift you high. Now shine, emit your light and fix your bright and live your life. I don't get turned, I put in work and get amplified. Get lit, it's still just too dim, enhance your bright and get amplified. I don't get turned, I put in work and get amplified. Get lit, it's still just too dim, enhance the bright and get amplified. Amplified, I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Not lit, get amplified. This is amplified. I'm feeling amplified. Everything is amplified. Not lit, get amplified.
So if you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see more of it, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you again.